Welcome to the TCG. Yep, there it is. The TCG Show podcast. I'm here with the Pokemon ThePokemonDad2. I always wondered about that because is the Pokemon 2 Pokemon? I'm like I like make fun of people saying Pokemon all the time, and now it naturally comes out of my mouth. But
that's my father-in-law. It's always Pokemon.
He's a Pokemon guy.
Yeah. But you're asking Pokemon 2, right? Oh,
now I hear myself. It's because I have YouTube on my phone. I was updating our people to let them know that we're going to be late because I was having technical difficulties. So okay, I'm sorry. So the PokemonDad2, is that because the first one was taken or because you have two kids?
No, I mean it worked out. The first one was taken, but I had to come up with a number to, fill it in and make it unique. And 2 was available, so that's what we stuck with. And hopefully I don't have any more kids because then I'll have to update it or something. But I think we're good. I think we're in the clear.
Do you ever like have any conversations with PokemonDad1? PokemonDad1?
I've never tried to reach out to number 1, but I think he's not as active as I am in the community right now.
Yeah, your social media really blew up. I don't know at what point or what video did it, but I'm like just watching your videos. I was like, okay, he's pretty consistent. He posts a lot. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you have a lot of followers for someone who's pretty new to vending. What was it that kind of popped off your social media?
Yeah, I mean, it was my kids' videos. The one video of my daughter naming the Pokemon that just took off and it got like 1 million views. And I think I'm at like 3,000 followers, but like 1,800 of them came from her video alone.
Wow.
And I kind of started it all just for fun and to see and try something new. And I never, even on my personal account, posted videos or pictures. Even wasn't really socially active, and I wanted to like learn a new skill set and just try something that made myself feel uncomfortable. And this was the perfect opportunity for it. So now I just, I post funny memes that I think, people might like, and just use like CapCut templates and editing and, little videos here and there to make myself look foolish. But, I think the community is a very welcoming one. And, people just like to just scroll through and enjoy all the Pokemon content that they see.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I had a really good time with watching your daughter name the Pokemon, or I was just like, it's just like me.
Yeah.
And she's like 4, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I feel the same way. Like if I'm ever like opening a pack, like on camera, and I'm like trying to name all the Pokemon, I'm like, I know like Gen 1, Gen 2 pretty well, but after that, I'm like, this is where I fell off back in the day. Yeah. So I and my phonics and linguistics aren't that great, and I can't really like make out the sounds of the names. So I think making up the names for the Pokemon is a better way to go.
Yeah, on a good day, I'm not really good with words, but trying to read a Pokemon, I'm just like, forget it. And then sometimes people are like, oh, what's your favorite Pokemon? I'm like, oh, Jigglypuff or Screamtail or any of the pink ones, really. Chansey, of course. And then they come up with one that they love, and I'm like, oh, that's a great one. I can't even repeat it back to you.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, yeah, that one's cool. Can you show me what that one looks like?
I do love to see like how many people just have like different Pokemons that are their favorite. Like it's just like everyone has their own that they really like, that for some reason maybe it was like a card they pulled way back in the day, or they use that Pokemon heavily in the game. And it's just a character that kind of sticks with you since childhood, or or just one of the games that you fall in love with. But yeah, everyone has a different favorite. It's cool.
What's your favorite? Are you Charizard guy? Are you basic?
No, yeah, I'm pretty basic. I am pretty basic. I'd say I have like a top 5. I can't really narrow it down and pick one. But I've always loved Mewtwo. I like Mew. I like Pikachu from the show. Like I love watching Pikachu and Ash do their thing. And then Typhlosion and Lugia. Those are my tops. So, and that Lugia card from Silver Tempest is like my favorite of all time. So once I
Really?
saw that,
Like
yeah,
a newer one.
yeah, because I got into it like when everyone started to get back into it. I'm like a one of those. So
Oh, like 6 months ago, or
yeah.
oh, really? So you're not
Well,
like a
like
lifelong collector, just getting back into it with your kids.
yeah, I'm one of those.
Oh,
I was into it as a kid. I had a collection. I sold it. You know, just the same story that everybody goes through. I played the games. I played the games pretty on and off throughout my life. Like it was never like I stopped playing any of the games. But I didn't really collect at the time until my kids, and then we saw them in Target one day, and we were just like, I think Pokemon's going crazy right now. Oh, and we played Pokemon Go a lot. We played Pokemon Go when that boomed, and we had fun doing that. I remember like we were like I don't know how old, 25 years old and 27 years old, and our mother-in-law was like driving us around, and we're like trying to catch Pokemon on our phones.
oh, I
We're
thought you
like,
were saying, like with your kids, like they were like in their car,
no,
like
no,
baby carriers, and you're like, come on, guys, let's go.
yeah. So, but yeah, and then just recently, you know, like probably like 8 months ago at this point, just started buying packs with the kids and didn't even know what we were looking at. We were like pulling full art EXs and thinking we had like the greatest cards in the world, and we were like, "This is
Oh,
so
they're
cool."
cool. I mean, they're cool.
Yeah, yeah. It
They're like,
was
oh, shiny.
honestly, it was better back then because the moment we like monetized it all, it kind of like lost its appeal to it a little bit, because then you're more concerned about which card is worth more, and not necessarily like which card you like, or you know, enjoying the art as much.
Do your
But I try
kids?
to,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
no, I try to keep the appreciation involved in it all, even though I am monetizing it in a way through vending.
Are your kids? Are they, as soon as they open a pack, are they like, Dad, what's this? How much is this one?
It got to that point, and I had to pull it back a little
Yeah.
bit and kind of like, luckily we stopped ripping packs for a little because it got to that point. It was like, oh, that one's only 50 cents, and I really didn't want it to be that way for them. So I kind of just like let it die down a little bit, and then we started, and I tried my best to like, as we're opening cards, be like, oh, look at that card, and it's like a non-hollow common card, and be like, whoa, that's really cool. And try to like play it off like I did enjoy it. But
Dad, this is
my
a common. This is
yeah.
garbage. Oh,
It is cool though, because like my one daughter really likes Misty and all of her Pokemon. So with the new set, Destined Rivals, and all the Misty trainer cards, she's like collecting them all, and like those are all her favorite Pokemon. So it's cool to see.
did you get the SIR yet?
We
Is
haven't
it?
got the SIR. Yeah, I bought it for her in Japanese, but we haven't pulled it yet. Yeah,
You got to keep
hopefully.
ripping.
I know. I got plenty of packs to rip, so we'll see.
So how did you? So how did you find the show? So I know that you. So background on Vinny, he was coming to the show, and then he graduated from attendee to vendor. So it was about 8 months ago that you kind of got back into it. So how did you guys find the show?
Yeah, I think through social media. I think we started following people like um I forget their like actual names. I know like their Instagram names, but like we started following people on Instagram and seeing them post, and then like we saw that there was a show, and we'd never been to a card show before, and it was your show, and it was I forget exactly when. I want to say like November, or is that maybe that sounds right.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm like,
October.
November. We had, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
yeah, October, November, December, everything kind of blends.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember what location it was. If it was Somerset, it was either Somerset or Bridgewater.
I think the first one we went to was Bridgewater, and
Oh, December.
my kids had an amazing time. It was just like the best thing in the world, and I had a great time. I had to like control myself from like buying too many cards. I was like, "Oh man, this is bad. This is gonna be really bad." But it was so much fun, and we had a great time. And you know, just over the months, I was just buying so many cards and ripping so many packs, and I was like what am I doing? I need to like chill out a little bit here. I'm spending way too much money on Pokemon.
You're having a good time.
Yeah, it was
Work
fun.
hard.
And you know what? I built up my collection, and I was like, you know what? I have so many cards. I should just like get into vending. And I was watching vendors on Instagram, and it looked really fun and exciting, and just like another way to like partake within the community. And I'm like a numbers guy, so
Yeah.
the whole like financial aspect of it, and like creating my own business, and creating a balance sheet and a P&L and tracking my inventory. It was like I was kind of geeking out a little bit there,
Yeah.
even though it's like I shouldn't want to do this outside of work,
I'm
but
a businessman.
it's fun, and I enjoy it, and I like tracking like my how well I'm doing, and it's just I really, and then just the community, like there's so many great people that come to the shows that you get to interact with, and it's just like all around a fun time. It's so family oriented. There's like this one kid that comes to my table every time, and I'm like, I love this kid. Like if he asks for a really expensive card, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like not give it to him because he's my favorite, and I like.
I'm like, who is he? Do I know?
Yeah, I have to. It's on my mission to get his name next time because I haven't gotten his name.
So I'm like, I'm like, do you have a picture of him? Like, so creepy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, so yeah. I mean, if he comes to the shows frequently, I might know him. So that'll be nice, though, when you finally find out who he is, and then I'll tell him to go and figure out what the most expensive card is that you're.
Go beat me up a little bit on the prices.
That's awesome that you already have people that are your favorites that come to your table. Yeah. How many shows have you vended at now?
So I've done your show 2 times now. 2 times, I believe. I think it was last month and this month, or no? I'm looking at my vendor tags I got up. No, it was
3
times.
or 2. This is the third one coming up then.
Yeah, it was April and May. So I did the last 2 shows, and then I did a show out like in North Jersey, like a little bit of a smaller show, mainly sports cards. And then I did, and I really just wanted to do that to like
practice, get your feet wet.
Yeah. And it was perfect. It was great. I was able to like take my time and not feel overwhelmed. Because at the TCG shows, it's a whole nother ball game. Like I'll have 5 people deep at my table sometimes, and I'm like trying to price out cards and talk to other people, and so it gets intense. But I was able to get my feet wet a little bit there at that show, and then I did the Woodbridge show once, again just to like kind of see what it was all about, and that show was great. But I really, because I have a full-time job, I really just wanted to do it once a month. I don't want to like take my weekends away from my kids when that's like the time I have with them. So I told myself once a month, and your show is the best, and it's close by, and I feel comfortable there, and it's just I hope I could do it every month.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you. Anyone that's easy to work with and easy to communicate with, you're always welcome. So what kind of advice would you give to someone who is trying or thinking about going into shows? Would you say go to and jump into a big show, or would you say to start at a smaller show?
Yeah, I'd say probably start at a smaller show. I think until you're actually there doing it, you don't know how overwhelming it can be. Like it's exhausting. It is a lot of work, and you have to be on your game the whole time, and it's a lot harder than people think. And it's long, right? Like you're there 8 hours, you're standing most of the time, you're constantly engaging people. It's like mentally exhausting. But it's fun. I love it, and I would do it every weekend if I could.
Oh, so that's going to be the next question. Like, is it worth it? Like now, you've made an investment. You have you have a case, you have your racks, you paid for your table. Like now that you've actually done it 5, 6, 7 times, are you like, oh, okay, I've had enough. I think it's more fun to walk the shows with my kids and enjoy and buy things. Or are you like, okay, this is going to be my thing. Like once a month, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. This
Yeah.
is going to be my thing, and it's
Yeah.
really, I'll be honest, the money is great because you can make really good money, and that's being generous. Like I am not a tough negotiator. If you I shouldn't say this because now
I know.
people are going to come after me at the
They're all going
shows.
to come to your table. They're
Like,
going to look for you on the map.
this is the guy we can attack. No, and I feel like I'm very fair and generous with a lot of my prices, and it's still rewarding financially. But that's just one aspect of it. That the really it's just like I think I've made more friends through the community, through vending, through just like going to like local restocks and like
Oh,
meeting
you're that
people.
guy. Are you?
I mean, you kind of have to. Like, there's no way to get cards
Yeah.
at market price if you're not like trying to go to Target or your local Walmart. But yeah, I mean, I think it's so much fun, and it's really a great time, and I plan to do it every month going forward.
I was thinking about you today because you said that your daughters play. Um, they play that they're vendors at
Yeah,
home.
yeah,
My nephew made his first. My nephew's 9, and he just made his first eBay sale today. He
nice.
and my sister put it was a 50 card of random hollows, no dupes, on eBay, one listing, and it was maybe up there for 2 months. And he made a sale today, and I had him write a little note. It said, "Thank you for supporting my small business." I was like, no one's gonna believe that an actual 9-year-old wrote that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I
And
love
he's
that.
sending it out tonight. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, look at this. I was like, kids, they could take it seriously. I mean, your girls
Yeah,
might be behind the table with you before you know it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
one of them told me that Chansey. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They had the opportunity last time, and they enjoyed it. It's just, to be honest, I would love to have them with me, but like it's hard. Like it's there's people asking questions, and it's hard to like take a second and be like, you
right,
can handle this transaction, but
right.
because like it's like 5 people deep and they're waiting to get a view at your cards, and it's hard to like slow it down a little bit and really take a step back.
Are there any
Um,
warnings that you would give anyone that's starting out at vending?
uh, Look at the cards. I think
Yeah.
that's where I've tripped up the most is just like quality checking, and I've had vendors, give me that tip a lot. It's really just like take a second, take that extra 2-3 minutes, and really look over what you're buying because I've had I've had cards that I thought were $500 have a big crease down the middle that like in the heat of it all I didn't see, and it's lessons learned, and it's part of it, but really just like really pay attention to what you're looking at, and also like not that it happens a lot, but look for like signs of like fake cards because people will try to take advantage of you. So just really try to learn what to look for, whether it's like fonts or colorings or just like the quality of the print. Just really try to know what to look for there. But I mean, really, it's just like take a second and really look at the card to make sure it's like a near mint card because in the heat of it all you'll miss it a bunch
Yeah,
because
I
I have.
imagine that when it's like it could be sensory overload a little bit when you're in the show. You have people wanting to know this one, this one, this one, or someone's talking about this, and there's a lot going on, and just to focus on one person at a time, I imagine it's hard. Plus, you're trying to watch your case and watch your binders to make sure no one's stealing anything.
Yeah,
So, do you usually have someone with you, or are you solo most of the time?
yeah, my sister helped me once, and then my brother's been helping me recently, so that's been super helpful. He's learning the ropes, he's figuring out like how to price out cards and help me, and he's probably more of a stern negotiator than I am because it's not like he doesn't know like how much wiggle room he can like how flexible he can be, but
Mhm.
he's a great guy and he's personable, and everyone that comes to the table loves him. So he's been great to have, and it's nice to spend time with family. It's like, yeah, I'm putting him to work, but
Yeah.
at least we're together maybe I wouldn't see him for a month or two, or even more, or whatever it may be. Now I'm seeing him and talking to him all the time, telling him about like the new set or whatever, and he's getting into it a little bit, so it's fun.
It's like Pokemon Uncle too.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He goes, "I should be the Pokemon Uncle."
Really?
Yeah, that was exactly it.
What is? Do you have any? See, I can't even say. I can't read or say this. Drugagon. Can you see the chat at all?
I can't now. I should bring it up.
Oh, from the Tempest Trainer Gallery. I don't know. Who's Joe?
Is that my brother? That might be the one that.
Is Joe your brother?
I don't know. Maybe.
Is Joe? But Joe's your brother's name?
It is, yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is the person in the chat. Maybe there's a lot of people viewing right now, and I have a feeling that they're coming from you. Okay.
They could be my family. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That's one thing about the shows is we just did our very first show in Lee, Massachusetts yesterday. I'm exhausted. I have no idea how I'm even awake right now, but wholesome vibes. It was completely just wholesome vibes. It was, I would say, 90% of the people that were there have never been to a card show before. They had no idea what to expect. They saw a Facebook or Instagram ad and they said, we're going to go. We're going to check it out. We're bringing our kids. And they were there all day. We had 600 people. It was incredible. For a very first show in a very new area that's never seen or heard a card show before, they were there. They showed up and they were really happy. It's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of that and to see the families connect. That's my favorite part about everything is seeing the families or the kids or just people connect with other vendors or each other over Pokemon cards. It's something that I never thought that I would be into, but I'm like, yes, we're doing something here.
That is awesome. And I was gonna say something because I was like, she's having the podcast right after the show. I'm like, she's exhausted. Yeah.
No.
But I'm so happy it went well. That I'm jealous. I wish I could have gone because I totally would have taken the trip out there and done it. But I gotta stick to my rules here.
Yeah.
But no, it was awesome to see it all go well. And I apologies because I don't know his actual name, but Death Metal Charizard is one of my favorite vendors as a attendee.
And it's so fun to say his name. And my
grrr,
yeah, all day. I was standing at the front. I was looking at him, and he was like, "All right, I'll do the thing." And
he's the coolest. He's the best.
Yeah, yesterday my sister called me my sister and my niece sent me a video and it was her saying Death Metal Charizard, and then we FaceTimed him. And then my nephew got so jealous that Gia got to talk to him because his name is, I was like, are they expecting a Charizard to go? I mean, he's a person.
Yeah.
But then we had to call back because my nephew was upset because he didn't get to talk to Death Metal Charizard, but he's a celebrity in my sister's home because, he's a cool guy. He's on YouTube, he's on the videos. So it's a good time. He's a great guy. His name's Jesse. Yeah.
Okay, Jesse. Good to know. Yeah, because I think the first show we went to, my wife, we kind of like broke out and she went one way and I went the other. And she took a kid, I took a kid, and we went searching for cards. And she was like, "This guy over here, Death Metal Charizard, he's amazing. You have to go to his." And then it just got crazy, and I never got to his table. But then the next time I was like, "Where is Death Metal Charizard? I gotta find him." And then so I was able to buy from him, and I tried to find him each show that I was trying to find him each show that I was a participant at to make sure I gave him some business, and I did a deal with him online. It was one of my first claim sales that I ever did.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was cool. So yeah, he's a good guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's such a sweet guy and very eclectic. He's in this touring band. When he told me he was in touring band, I was like, "Oh, cool!" But I didn't really think about
grind, right? A grind.
Yeah, and I got the T-shirt. I wore the T-shirt yesterday, and they have such a huge following. And I mean, I'm not in that world, so I don't know anything about it. But they're touring all over the place. So I'm like, oh my gosh! So this was a side thing that became a main thing for you, doing Pokemon.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love
aside
it.
from when you're not touring, but now we're doing the shows, or he's going to be doing shows up there. It's huge. I mean, like it makes me feel lazy because there's so much more I could be doing with my time. That's why the podcast is happening.
Yeah,
But,
that's cool. You got a lot going on. There's there's a lot of moving parts in all of it that nobody sees, and I'm sure it's a lot. I mean, how many vendors do you have to deal with each month? I mean, and then you got to make sure like everyone's paid and everyone's ready to go and everyone
yeah,
knows the rules, and I can't imagine.
yeah. Aside from the shows, the vendors that come, so I have anywhere between, so it's 150, say 150 tables. You have to assume that 2 people are going to be at every table. So it's 300 vendors. And that's something that when I've done shows with other people, they're like, oh, we have 40 tables. I'm like, you got to assume that there's going to be at least 80 cars there.
Yeah.
And when we're looking at vendor venues and parking is always an issue, especially if you're having a large show, because because each vendor is going to have at least 2 cars.
Mm-hmm.
And one person I was doing a show with, they were like, oh yeah, but they'll ride together. I said, no, they won't. Because if you're vending with your brother, it's not like you're having a sleepover party the night before.
Yeah.
And you have so much inventory, you're going to be kind of going with 2 cars anyway. So that tends to be a challenge. And then setup, and there's always something going on. And then the constant, are there any tables? Do you have any last minute cancellations? And I feel bad saying like, I'm sorry, it's not likely that you're going to get a cancellation, or if someone's canceling, they have someone that's going to show up for them, or someone is willing to take the table off their hands. It's rare that someone's like, I'm stuck, I have nothing to do, or no one to fill, but things happen.
Yeah.
But yes. So that's my biggest dilemma right now is having too many vendors want spots, but I guess that's a good problem. It's better than wanting to vend with me.
Yeah, and to that point, like my brother comes and helps me, but I try to let him come a little bit later and leave a little bit earlier. So like same thing with the cars, like everyone's gonna have the 2 cars.
Yeah, I appreciate that everyone comes on time, but I also appreciate that no one comes, like they don't come all at the same time, because loading and unloading would be an issue. And that's something that I'm always like scared of, a line of people that are trying to get in to just unload, and then it just becomes a disaster. But we're very fortunate.
Yeah, for the most part, I feel like between like even like 6:45, like I'll roll into the parking lot at like 6:30 just because I'm if you're not there 15 minutes early, you're late kind of guy. Like, I gotta be there, and I'll be like sitting around for half an hour, like already set up, like just hanging out. But I enjoy that better than like strolling in last minute. And there's people on both sides of it. People like to get there last minute and throw it together and spend as little amount of time there as they can and just get it in and get it done. But I like to take my time and get there early and relax and make sure everything.
And you're coming from far away, so like I'm not super far, but like you have a little distance, so there's a lot of variables. Maybe there's traffic at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. You don't know. Your car breaks down. You get a flat. Like all of a sudden, anything could happen. Yeah.
Right.
I forgot the first show I did with you. I played it cool. I didn't let you know. I didn't want you to know. But I forgot I forgot my case.
Oh.
And my brother, he texted me, and I was like, dude, how far are you? And he was like, I'm getting off at the exit. And I was like, oh, he's like getting off at the exit by his house, and he's not that close. He's like, no, I'm gonna be there in like 2 minutes. I was like, dude, I need you to turn around.
Oh my gosh.
Go all the way back to my house and get my cases and bring them back. And he did it. He was a trooper. He went and got it all and came back, and he was there before 8 o'clock. And if we had gone any later, we would have been late, So that's just a good example of like why it's helpful to get there early. And now I have like a checklist, and I'm like checking off everything that I'm supposed to bring to make sure it's like loaded up. And
I should start a checklist. I have like a checklist in my brain, but I'm always like the last minute. I'm like, okay, do I have batteries? Do I have a Pikachu costume? I'm like,
the Pikachu costume.
I'm like, do I have anyone that's going to dress in the Pikachu? No, it's going to be me. We had a Pikachu for the last show, and he was phenomenal. So I'm very, very happy that worked out, because I've had Pikachus in the past, and then I always end up in the suit.
It takes it's a responsible job to be the Pikachu. You got to be ready for it, because everyone wants a picture, everyone's excited.
Everyone wants to touch the Pikachu. You wouldn't know how many people want to like mess with the Pikachu, and I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, punch.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, really? Like you don't think that there's a person in here? I see you.
Oh my god. Oh man, that's amazing. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's funny.
Well, I mean, it's something that I never really thought of, because I've never been a violent person.
Yeah. Like, never once would have crossed my mind to punch that Pikachu.
Yeah, little kids. I mean, they either like love the Pikachu, and it's so sweet when the kids want to come up and hug Pikachu, and I'm like, oh my god, but then sometimes there's just a kid like, boo, boo, boo. I'm like, what? Okay.
I try to do stickers at my table, because I feel like everybody loves Pokemon stickers. But I had a group of kids, and I was like, "Oh, hey, do you all want some stickers?" And they came like rushing over, and they were fighting with each other. They must have been like sisters or related or something. But it was like a group of friends, family, I don't know what, but they were all like, "I want the Pikachu, I want the Jigglypuff," and they were all like trying to get the stickers.
Oh my gosh.
They left my table in shambles with like stickers everywhere. I was like, yeah, all right, take as many as you want. Just
get out of here.
Yeah. But I think that's always like, it's always part of the show, is like, you almost have to have something to give away in a sense, because like people bring a lot of kids, and they might not necessarily collect, but they love to like go home with something. And sometimes the parents are there for themselves, like I was with my kids, or and my kids are there buying stuff too, but some of the kids don't collect, and they're just there with their parents who do collect, or vice versa. So I think the stickers have worked out well for me. If there's someone that's like the one kid I was saying before, if there's someone like him that really like sparks something into me, I'm like, then I try to have like a cheap little slab hidden or something to give away.
This kid's got a hustle. He's gotcha.
I've had like, and I'm sure this goes for everyone else that's vended, but I've had people come up to me and just be like, "Do you have anything for free?" And it's like,
"Oh no."
"Hi, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming by. Do you want a sticker?"
Oh my god.
Some people are a little bit more aggressive than others when it comes to that stuff. And then of course you get the trade up challenges that are always fun, because everyone's trying to do a trade up challenge, and you're like, all right, well, how can I help this kid without like getting rid of a really good card for a card that I know I'm gonna sit on forever. So there's that too. So I try to if someone comes to me with a trade up challenge, I try to have like a $2 or $3 card that I can like add to their trade up challenge, and it's like, listen, I don't want your card, but here's a card to go with your card to help you increase the value and trade up a little bit.
You're like, where'd you get that garbage from?
Yeah. It's like a CGC 8 trainer that like I'm like, oh god, if I take this, I'm gonna end up giving it away. And they're trying to trade for like a 151 like art rare or something.
I've seen the craziest trade of the kid. Like, I mean, they just don't know, but they're like, have like this, like, and they're like, I work on I help out in the store on Sundays, and this father called the store and was like, oh, we have a first edition Venusaur, and I want to see if you can tell me how much it is. I was like, well, we have to condition it to make sure it is what it is and it's not fake or whatever. And he's like, okay, we'll be right in. So we come in, and he's like, come on. So the kid takes it out of his pocket, and it was like dust.
Oh my god.
And it was a Venusaur from Celebration. So it wasn't first edition, and it was trashed. Not even in the sleeve. It just came right out of his sweaty little pocket. And he handed it to me, and I'm like, oh, honey. And Dad was like, so what is it worth? I'm like, nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, if you like it, hold on to it. Mm-hmm. And then I like put it in a sleeve and a top loader. I was like, all right. I was like, just
Yeah.
hold on to it. But it was completely trash. And I felt bad because, they look on TCG Player or whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a near mint," because
Yeah.
like
That's
whatever,
what
and they're
pops
like,
up.
"Oh,
Yeah.
near mint Venusaur," and I just noticed like I have a huge crease in this, and it also has a swirl. I found this on the table at the show yesterday, so I'm like, "Oh, Bear Paw
Nice.
Energy." No one knew what I was talking about. I was like, "Okay, it's fine."
I didn't know either. And then I did the one video and I was like, I called it bear paw, and you were like, yeah, bear paw. I was like, honestly, I have no idea what that means, but I heard you say it once, so I
Oh,
kind of took it and rolled with it. And then you gave me
oh,
the backstory, but
oh
yeah.
yeah, because I was opening packs, and I this is like when I was first opening packs, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Bear Paw Energy," and then I don't think anyone's watching anything that I'm doing ever. And then the Drip Trio came into the store, and they're like, "Bear Paw Energy," and I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm like,
Oh, that's
"Yeah, all
amazing.
right, we're gonna roll with it."
Yeah. That's cool.
So, what are you most looking forward to in the upcoming months with the new releases and shows? Are you going to go to Collecticon? You have anything going on besides coming or vending?
Yeah, with kids, the weekends are always like really busy, especially vacations and birthdays and all that stuff. So the summer is very busy, but I'm gonna try to make it to Collecticon. I just like kind of reconnected with a buddy of mine from high school, and I think he's actually gonna vend at your July show, so he's super
Oh,
excited about that.
who is it so I can
Um,
reject him? No competition.
I don't know what his vending name is,
uh,
but Billy. But I just recently connected with him, and him and I've been talking a lot, and I think we're gonna try to make it out to Collecticon, and then really we were talking about going to the show. The Liquid Games I think is next or
yeah.
this weekend. But I'm not gonna make that. I'm gonna try to do Collecticon as like my one big show because that's like
Yeah.
once a year or something around here. So I'm gonna do that, and then really, we're going down to the shore one week, and uh, my birthday's in July, my wife's birthday's in July, our anniversary's in July, so a lot
Oh,
going on there. But with the sets, I'm enjoying Destin Rivals a lot. I think it's a really fun set. I think there's so many awesome cards in the set. I know the artwork is a little different for people, but um, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a really cool set and really fun. And there's so many chase cards that I want to pull, so I'm
yeah.
excited about that
You're a
set.
Mew guy. If
Yeah,
you have the Mewtwo in there, it's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and then I'm excited about Black and White. It seems like it's going to be insane. I'm a little I'm a little fatigued from it all because it's like
Mhm.
I get the pings on my phone for restocks and
Ah,
drops, and like you're trying to like get stuff at MSRP so that you can like actually rip stuff without paying, market price.
right.
And it's exhausting because it's like you have to be up at this time to catch the Target drop, or Walmart drops on Wednesdays, and be ready at 9 o'clock, and it's like, oh god, like Costco just dropped online the prismatic 2-pack that they have coming out, and it was like in 2 seconds it was gone, and it was just
Oh
like,
yeah,
all right,
I
well,
didn't even know. I thought it was tomorrow. I didn't realize that it was going today.
I don't know. I don't know if anyone got it because I haven't heard anyone that was successful. So I don't know if the bots just cleaned it out or if it was like a fake. But I saw it on, like, I got the ping. I tried to get into my Costco account, and it was like loading and logging me out. And I was like, well, here we go again, not getting this one.
Uh,
Um, but I was able to score my first Pokemon Center ETB with Destin Rivals. So that was awesome. That was like the first one that I was like able to get at MSRP and not pay, second party, third party market prices. So that was nice. And then I was able to get the Black and White set as well from Pokemon Center. So that's awesome. And that's just part of my personal collection. I'm trying to collect one of each ETB. That's what I'm going for personally. And then ideally, if I can, a Pokemon Center ETB. But right now, I'm looking at it right now, but I think I have all the Scarlet and Violets, not Pokemon Center, but it's half and half. and then I have most of the Sword and Shields, but nothing. I have Sun and Moon base, but nothing past that.
Oh wow.
They're just too expensive at
Yeah.
that point now.
You're Pokemon
Um,
rich.
yeah, I know. I know. I use like the collector app, and I'm like, "Whoa, look how
Yeah,
much!
right?
Look how much I got!"
I show my friends who like have no idea what's going on with
Yeah,
me. They think I'm having a nervous breakdown.
yeah,
They're like, Pokemon Maryland, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, but I don't know what's happening. So, but yeah, to show them my investments, they're like, what? Wait,
yeah,
hold on, you have that much money in Pokemon? I'm like, I don't know, it just happened. And
yeah.
some of it, I didn't expect it to happen. The Pikachu, I won a $30 raffle, and I got a PSA 10 and a just a sealed Pikachu. So two
Yeah,
cards for
yeah,
$30. I won it, and I was just like, oh my god. So that was 2 years ago. So
yeah. And then it took
$30
off.
investment went crazy.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, and just like a couple little things that I've just bought at different times, and I'm just like, oh, okay, all right. So just kind of like sitting on it right now. But
Yeah.
do you
I
put
think.
all your singles and everything in your case? Do you keep that in there, or just your sealed product?
Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, in the collector app, do you keep track of all of your singles, even stuff you sell, or is that completely separate?
The collector app is my personal. It just doesn't update as frequently as
Uh-huh.
like TCG does. So I keep everything personal and collector, and that's like mine that I'm gonna like. That's like my long term investment. I like to call it, because the sealed. I mean, you look at all the sealed product, and like you could buy a $50, $60 Pokemon Center ETB right now, and 5 years it could be or it will be, 200
Right.
$300. So it's just and even if Pokemon falls off and the hype isn't what it is, it's still going to be worth something, because there's so many collectors out there that want this stuff. So I do think a lot of the sealed stuff will hold its value, and I'm kind of banking on it a little bit. Got a nice little slush fund, rainy day fund hidden away.
It's
But
college
yeah, and
fun.
then yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly it. Something I can give my kids at the end of the day. And then everything else, all my sealed, I have like a little spreadsheet for that is for the show. Like anything I bring to the show, I have a spreadsheet for that I keep track of, and then I update it with market price. And I use the TCG Player app for like adding in like my raw inventory, uh, my singles, and then I just export that. I send it to my email and I export it. And I'm like really good with spreadsheets, so I do like a VLOOKUP. I do a
Your numbers
VLOOKUP. Yeah, I do a VLOOKUP to like compare the two SKUs for the cards, and then it automatically updates the price number, or the price for the card, and then I just go through and I update all the singles. Like I put a new sticker on them and change the price, and that's how I try to have a sticker on each card. I know that might be a little crazy, but I personally, when I went to shows, I liked to see the price on the card, so I knew like what I was paying for. I know that's hard for like a lot of people that vend every weekend, because you're like constantly trying to update it. But for me, who only does it once a month, I'm able to like actually do that. And I think I like it as a buyer, so I try to do that for other buyers that might like that as well.
Yeah, especially if you keep yourself organized the way that you do. I think it might be a little easier to track your inventory and just to
Hmm.
see the trend of what things are going to. I think that's probably the best advice that you could see with or to give to someone is to like kind of like watch the trends of
Yeah.
what cards are doing and what you want to move quickly. Or do
Hmm.
you ever follow the trends like that? Or are you
Yeah,
like,
I think.
okay, this is what I want to sell. If it goes, it goes. If it stays, it stays.
Yeah, I think I'm 100% learning, and there's people that have been in this for cycles. They've been doing this before the boom, and they know it, and they've seen it all. So I'm just getting like my feet wet and learning it all right now. So they probably have better advice than I do. But what I'm learning right now is that modern is super volatile, and it could be like the Pikachu from Surging Sparks was like a $500 card, and now it's down to like $280, and
Mhm.
you don't know where it's going to go. Whereas you look at a lot of the more vintage stuff, and it's just steadily climbing. It's just that it's always just getting a little bit more expensive over the years. It might not be as quick. You might not see returns as fast, but it's the charts are going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then, to your point about the trends, I think everyone's really into tag teams right now and megas with the new set coming out. So it's like it's knowing that and jumping on that when you can, like whether it's somebody posts a lot on Facebook Marketplace and they're trying to get rid of it fast to get some cash, and it's all tag teams, and you're like, I'll give you I'll give you 80%. I'll come and pick it up right now for cash. And they're like, oh, okay, sure. Or if it's
Oh,
or if somebody brings it to the show.
yeah, like it just kind of, I imagine that the people who are dumping things on Facebook and going to the show and trying to get rid of things, like they have to know, right, that megas and tag teams are going up, right? Or like, why are they trying to get rid of them? Like,
I mean,
I don't know. I'm not in that kind of space, so I don't really know.
yeah, I mean, it could be sell it while it's high, right? Like if it's hot right now, get rid of it while you can. That might be their mentality. So I get it. Like I don't agree with it, because I think they're older cards, right? They're Sun and Moon era, so I think they might be pumped a little bit right now, but I think they'll always kind of hold their value. And people love tag teams. I mean, it's just like, who doesn't love a Blastoise with like a Piplup? Like it's a great card, or like
Yeah.
a you know. So I think they'll always do well. And then the megas with the mega set coming out, I think later this year or next year, whenever it is, they're starting to take off as well. So people are getting back into them. Yeah.
It's funny when people are like, they know I don't know much, and they'd be like, Marilyn, megas, and I'm like, great. I'm like, I don't know. That happened to me last show. I'm just walking around doing my thing. They're like, Marilyn. Cool.
I think you really need to know, because so many people want to trade. That's what I've learned, is everyone wants to trade. They don't want to buy a $200 card for $200. They want to give you a $100 card that they don't really want, and they'll take $80 for it to make the $200 card $120 and make it feel like they're not buying it at full price. So you got to be ready to trade, and you got to know what is hot, because you don't want to take in $100 card that is just going to sit in your case for years to come. So really, if you're gonna trade stuff, like, get what's hot. So really, you got to know what to get at that point. I had a guy come to me, the first person I had at the last show, and he had the most amazing binder, and he was like, I'm going to a bachelor party, and he's like, my friend's getting married, I need some cash. And then he brought me his binder, and I was looking at it, and I was like, dude, if I had the money, I would buy your entire binder right now. But it was like $10,000 worth, and I was like, I need some cash to transact through the show, so I'm gonna be as frugal as I can be. But he had tag teams, he had just like awesome Evolving Skies stuff, and I had to restrain myself a little bit there. But I was able to get some awesome cards, and hopefully I can, it's nice to have a inventory that people are going to be like wowed by at the next show, and know that like you got some heat in your case.
Yeah. What do you do when someone buys you out? Are you like, oh, I guess I'm done? Or do you like try to walk around and buy some more stuff?
I haven't been bought out yet. I've been the first show I did last month or 2 months ago, the April show. I had somebody come first thing, and they bought a lot of my slabs, and that kind of set me back a little bit, because I was like, all right, like I did $3,000 in sales like right off the bat, and that's awesome. But I also was a little bit more lenient with him, because he bought so many that I gave him more of a discount than I probably should have, knowing that it was the beginning of a show. Looking back at that, I probably would have been a little bit more aggressive and been like, listen, dude, it's the beginning of the show. I don't need to sell this right now. Because that did leave me with like no slabs in my case. And then I was just trying to fill it with singles. But I think my single inventory, I'm probably like singles heavy right now. So I think I can like withstand a couple shows here. So I haven't really been bought out quite yet. So I've been, but yeah, if that does happen, I'll definitely walk the tables and try to make some deals, or just be a little bit more aggressive with buying. Like if I need to, I can buy at 80% instead of 75, and just try to recoup a lot of what I sold. I think the last show I sold so many $15 and under cards. I sold a lot of big cards. Like I sold my $1,000 Rayquaza card, which was awesome. I sold, a bunch of big stuff, but the 90% of my transactions were $15 and under. And I was looking at my inventory and I was like, I'm top heavy right now. I need to like really bulk up my $1 to $15 cards. And I was on Instagram, and I have, a lot of friends that post lots for sale, and someone was given something for 80%, and I just said, listen, I'll take it. It had some cards that maybe I don't want, but at the same time, like I needed some lower end singles, and he had a lot of great stuff. So that's kind of my game plan, is to just kind of strike on Facebook Marketplace or at the shows, or use the community to find deals. So it's been working so far.
Yeah, it helps to be a nice guy, right?
And until people try to take advantage of you.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I think you're like old enough to know that like not everyone's nice on purpose, or or they're being nice on purpose because of whatever. It's just, there's a lot of great people. The great people that I've met during this whole process have far outweighed the bad people, but those bad ones, they're always like, I thought you were bought out last show. I was talking to JoJo, and she's like, the Pokemon Dad got bought out, and then I got bought out.
Yeah.
I got to talk to him about it. So I didn't realize that you weren't completely wiped.
That was my sealed product. I try to have some sealed product there without like fully charging market price and fully like quote unquote scalping.
Right.
It is like a fine line. Like it's like, all right, like if I'm selling a Destin Rivals ETB at the show that I got, like I'm not gonna sell it for $50 because that's not what it's worth. Like, so it's a slippery slope with the sealed, but I try to have some stuff, and I try to be under market, and I try to like almost split the difference between market and MSRP to give people a deal that can't necessarily hit a restock or get stuff online because the bots are just buying it all up. So I try to be as fair as I can with that. And I think the guy that came and bought me out on the sealed product saw that, and in a sense took advantage of it. But I wasn't as flexible with him as I would have been with an individual, because I knew his intent was to like put it on a stream or resell it himself or whatever it may be. I got that vibe. So I was like, listen, like I'm not going to budge on my prices because they're already fair, and you're just going to go and mark this up yourself. And going forward, I probably wouldn't have sold to that individual again, because at the time I was excited to get rid of things quick. And now that I look at it, I'm like, that guy's just going to go and charge someone that I know in the community more money. And the reason why I have sealed is so that I can still give people a good deal. And that deal is not intended for that type of person. It's intended for the average collector that doesn't want to spend $100 on a prismatic ETB. So I think lesson learned there, but at the time it was exciting to get rid of all that sealed and kind of
it's less stuff to have to drag out to the car later.
Yeah. But I also don't have a problem getting rid of sealed, because when the average person comes by and they see that I'm below market, they're excited and they're like, wow, okay, actually a decent deal. And I usually sell out the sealed that I have.
Yeah. I mean, maybe instituting like limits on people too, if you're going to be,
I
like, don't let anyone buy you out. Because I mean, I'm not positive it's the same person that I got in a fight with.
It was the same person. It was the same
Even
person.
more reason. No,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you saw it or heard about it, but it was yeah.
I saw it. I saw it. I was like, get him, Marilyn, get him out of here.
All right. For the people that weren't there, we don't let people come in to the show with rolling carts or large bags. By large bags, I mean the Amazon huge bag. On camera, it looks this big, but like the Amazon delivery bag boxes that they leave at your doorstep when you have a shit ton of things. That's what I don't know how he came in with it. It may have been folded up. It may have gotten it from someone inside. Who knows? But he was dragging it around, and someone I had stopped and said that you can't bring your cart in saw him and said, if I can't bring my cart in, why is that guy allowed to have that bag? So I asked him nicely. It became a situation, and he was asked to leave. So, but he had all Vinny's stuff in it.
I'm happy you got him after I
yeah, I mean, you got what, I mean, I don't want to throw anyone out, but we have now. It's posted at the front. It was posted at the front the day he came in, but for whatever reason, he wasn't caught until he was already in the show for a while. I gave him his money back. It was, but there was, he was gone, and he's not allowed to come back because it was just a situation.
Yeah, I think what people need to understand that there's rules for a reason, and the rules are there for the community and to keep people safe. And if you don't follow the rules, get out of here. It is what it is. And that's you enforcing your rules that are in place, and there's nothing wrong with that. And now that I know that, at least I can even speak to it going forward and be like, hey, I don't think you're allowed, because that dude had one of those like laundry things that you see at hotels, like wheeling that thing around, and like it was loaded with stuff, and I was like, whoa, okay, this guy is.
I know it's a pain in the ass to go in and out and drop things in your car and whatever, but it's not fair to the people who are actually dropping things off in their car and coming back in. I mean, but also a kid fell over a cart 2 shows ago, and it was like a whole thing, and the mom was fine and she wasn't mad at me. She was more mad at the kid, but like a kid shouldn't fall in the middle of the show. And plus it gets very tight in there, and baby carriages can't get through, and people with assistive devices, you want to make sure that the person with a walker or wheelchair or cane or someone who has mobility issues can walk through. And if you have a cart, it's just one less, just real estate 100%. Is really, really small.
Yeah, it gets packed in there. It gets very packed in there. I remember it as a attendee. Like it gets busy, and the space is hard to get through, especially with kids. I can't imagine, people that have the mobility issues that need to be able to get through. And then like you said, once you throw a cart in there and you block up the space, then, it becomes an even bigger issue.
Yeah, because it's not just I'm walking through with a cart. I'm staying at the table. I'm making a deal.
Negotiating. So,
yeah, it just becomes a safety hazard. But people like rules, but they don't like too many rules, and they don't like rules that apply to them. I'm the same way. I'm a little bit of a rebel when it comes to things, but I think that if you're reasonable, some people are just not reasonable when it comes to things. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm so excited that I have you on the podcast today, because just to see someone who comes from an attendee who had an annual pass, and like that's just it made me so happy that like when you said that you were ready to vend, it's exciting to me. Now it's like my joke that people attend 3 shows and then they want to vend, and then they vend 5 shows and then they want to open a store.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to open a store, but I don't know.
You are?
I mean, no, I'm not going to, but it would be a dream. Like that'd be very fun. But I do see Rob's like YouTube channel and stuff.
Oh, you do? I was going to recommend it.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, and there's like a whole nother side of it that is.
If you want to make money.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to make money, you have to be in all sides of the game. You got to make sure you're touching every, not just the $2,000 cards, but the $2 cards and the 50-cent cards and all that. So yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, the the videos that he puts out, that you could always see like the trend in people that are trying to open up stores because they watch like a little bit of an older video of when he first opened. But yeah, it's I think you should do it. I think it would be great.
I
Especially
have
because
had,
really caught up by you, right?
yeah, there really isn't. There's, I there we've talked about like Flemington area,
Yeah.
or like even, I mean, that's really the area we've talked about because that's like the busiest, local place.
Uh-huh.
And I've talked about it with friends of mine to kind of take away the risk a little bit, because once you go in with someone, you're not as, you're not as liable for things, and you kind of spread the risk a little bit. But I don't know. I think I just,
You're already doing it. It's just a little bigger.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
it's hard, especially if you have a good job and you don't want to walk away from that, and it becomes 24/7 with children and a wife and responsibility. It becomes harder, but if it's in your
yeah.
heart, say go for it. Because I would have said that you were Rob was crazy, or I did say it because he was working all night and then he would come in, or what would he do? No, he would open the store and then from 11 to 7 he would work, and he would sleep for a couple hours and then open the store from like 3 to 10, and then 11 to 7 he would work.
Jeez.
Unloading trucks at Anheuser-Busch. And
Wow.
now his life has completely changed because he took a chance. And
Yeah.
like it's nuts. But
Yeah.
if anyone's out there and you want to open the store,
I've
look up
thought about it because,
R&D Games on
yeah,
YouTube. He'll tell you all the good and all the bad.
yeah.
But
I have a remote job for the most part, so I could try to make it work, but it would be hard because I am on a lot of meetings, and it is like 9 to 5, 10 to 6, kind of like when a shop would be open. So it'd be hard to be like, I have a customer in, but I'm like taking a meeting. I'm like trying to navigate between the two. But it would be fun for sure.
we have a question in the chat. When's the next time you're vending? A little
Uh, yeah, June. What is it? June. Oh my
14.
god, 14th, June 14th. I saw Sean 151.
Oh
He's
yeah.
he's vending his first show, I think, in June, and he's gotten his little bio, like the dates of his next shows. So I gotta do the same thing. But he's a great guy, and he's same thing. He was an attendee, and now he's doing the shows. And but yeah, June 14th, was it? June 14th? Yeah, I'm getting ready already. I'm trying to get situated over here and figure it all out and be prepared.
That's awesome. Yeah, Sean came up to me at one of the shows, like everyone that wants a table. He's like, "Oh, hey, how can I get in?" And I'm just like, "Oh," I'm like, "I'm gonna just tell them to ask you."
Yeah, yeah.
No. But this wave of newer vendors that have come in, everyone has been awesome. That's everyone's like, a lot of them are attendees or that were previous attendees, and they kind of like know the deal and the lay of the shows, which is cool.
And I think everyone's seeing like it's really competitive now. Like there's so many people that want to vend. And like for me, as an example, like now that I'm in with your show, like I don't want to do anything to mess that up. Like I don't like I want to do this show and this show only for, until I stop vending. And I think a lot of people are seeing that, even the people that want to do it full time, they're like, there's really good shows out there, and those are the shows you want to do because those are the best shows, and those are the busiest and the most people and the best venues and all that. And they don't want to ruin their chance by not following the rules or being late or whatever it may be, or calling out or leaving early or like.
No, I mean, like It's never one thing. I mean, like that's the thing also about like vendors that are asked not to come back. It's never just one thing, or it's never just being late once. There's usually a pattern of like disrespectful behavior, and I hate to have a reputation of someone who's like, you better pay me and don't be late. But it's like that's what people have said about me. It's like, oh, like that's always the first thing that they say to me if they're like saying, like sending me a message. They're like, I have the money to pay right now. I'm like, I don't have a table. I don't. Even if I had one, there's people. I mean, I
don't. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that expectation though. People should pay you and they shouldn't be late. Like
right.
that's the way it should be. Like, and I don't know. I feel like like hopefully a lot of the people that are seeing how competitive it is know like don't blow your chance. Like get in with a good show and be a good vendor and do well and you'll do all right. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, Vinny, thank you so much. Is there anything that you'd like to tell anyone who's just getting started out? What would be the number one thing?
The number one thing, just getting started out, just keep track of your inventory. I think the first show that I did, and I'll say this quickly, but the first show that I did, I didn't really know how to track cards coming in and going out because there was a card that I bought that I sold in the same show, and I was like, how do you track that financially? Like, how do you
Yeah,
know what you just did? Like, at the end of the day, unless you're taking pictures of every single thing you did or
right.
going back at the video and re-looking at it all, I think just like get a good system that works because you want to make sure that you're making money because at the end of the day, if you're losing money, like why are you doing this? So just keep track of your numbers and be on top of it, and you'll do all right.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and I'll see you in next like a week, 10 days from now, right? You told
Yeah,
me
yeah,
now, less than 2 weeks. I'll see you in the main room. You ready?
yeah. I'm
This is
ready.
exciting. The main room.
Yeah,
This has
I
never been in
know.
the main room before, but
I
it's
know
like
the
the
main
edge.
room.
But you're still. I mean, you're gonna get. It's such a great spot that you're in
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the people you're right by the end of the main room, and me personally, I don't want to be at the front or the front of the main room because people who are coming in, unless they actually know you and know what you have, they're going to do a lap and then forget.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you're in a great spot. So
yeah.
I'm excited to see how that spot is compared to the other two shows that you've done.
Yeah, I like a little bit of a more low key spot, and I like an
Yeah.
end. I like an
Yeah.
end to be able to know like I can escape if I need to. I'm not like stuck in between a couple of
Right.
people.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited for this spot. And I think each time doing it in a different spot feels a little nerve wracking, but
Yeah.
I'm excited, and I think it's going to be a great show.
Your neighbors are cool. They're the guy
Yeah,
to your left. He's cool. And you have
yeah,
no one to your right. So you're good.
yeah, yeah. And it's a chance to meet new vendors and new
Right.
people and network a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Pokemon Dad 2. It's
Well,
been
thank
great
you,
talking
Marilyn.
with you. And
Yeah, I appreciate you having me
how can
on.
we find you? What are your socials?
Uh, at the Pokemon Dad 2 on Instagram. My TikTok is horrible. I'm not on YouTube, so it's really just Instagram. But yeah, at the Pokemon Dad 2.
Awesome. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Marilyn. All
All
right,
right.
I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.